Is going on, party people? We are officially 9 days as of the recording of this video into the release of Planet Zoo console. Since launch, I have seen so many new players jump on board with this game, but we also have so many returning players who are coming from Planet Coaster, City Skylines, or even Jurassic World Evolution who have a little bit of experience in the world of Frontier Development games. And I myself, being one of those people that came over from Planet Coaster to Planet Zoo, I initially wanted to do a comparison video between the two, but I think I'm going to postpone that for just a little bit longer, as Frontier hasn't gotten all the patches and some of the glitches fixed yet in Planet Zoo that I'm sure they will in the future, so I don't just want to assess the differences between the two, because I don't feel like it would be a fair comparison at this exact moment. But with that said, what I would really like to do is talk about some of my favorite new things in Planet Zoo. So not necessarily make comparisons between Coaster and Zoo, but just talk about some of the things that I really enjoy that have been added to this game that maybe weren't in the original Planet Coaster game itself. So without further ado, we are going to jump straight into this list, everybody. Let's get to it. Alright, so one of the very first changes from Planet Coaster, something we did not have on that game, is right here featured as soon as you boot up the menu. You have the globe floating around here, and all of your friends that play the game, who have created avatars for the game, they show up here on the world map, which is super cool. It's not necessarily something the game had to have by any means, but it's so cool that we do. Alright, I promise this is the last one where I'm going to keep you guys at the main menu. I'm sure you want to see some actual game footage here, but one thing we do have to talk about is the fact that right here above the Frontier Workshop, we now have the challenges, the community challenges handed out by Frontier. This one currently is breed gold rated animals. We got 3 days left and we're at 9%. That's not looking good because this has only climbed about 6% in the past 2 days, so we got to get on top of this, guys and girls. Up next, we have one of the latest features added to Planet Zoo that we did not have in Planet Coaster, and that is the lens flaring when you're looking into the sun or at very bright lights. Right now, at the moment, guys and girls, I have a love-hate relationship with this. I think it's an absolutely awesome addition to the game. It can make some beautiful set pieces and scenes. But at the same time, I kind of wish we had the opportunity to turn it off. Maybe that's something Frontier can add in later, because when I look at certain things in the dark, they're just too bright, they pop too much, and that lens flare really distracts from the view. So hopefully there's a little bit of work done to that in the future, but at the same time, I do really enjoy that they brought it to the game because it does make for some amazing screenshots. Next up on this list of awesome new features, and one of my personal favorites, is the ability to change the weather. We could not do that in Planet Coaster, which to some degree it's a theme park, so you always want it to be bright and sunny, so I wasn't too hindered by it. But in Planet Zoo, it adds an amazing element where you can add snow effects, rain effects to your game. You can even turn off the weather settings if you just want it to be bright and sunny 24/7 in your zoo, which is an amazing feature. All in all, I love it. I think the rain effect looks beautiful hitting off surfaces in the game, and the snowfall, the way that it lands in this game ever so perfectly, is just stellar. Next up is a significant change to our advanced move tool under the active access. We used to get the X, Y, and Z. Now we have the X, Y, Z, as well as the X plus Y, the Y plus Z, and the X plus Z for the advanced movement tools, everybody. This has been super helpful so far with me in building my projects and getting things done. I absolutely love these additions. It did take me a second to figure out exactly how they work and what movement position they kind of snap into, but now that I've got the hang of it, absolutely love it. Moving on to a feature I see myself using quite a bit in the future here, everybody, is the terrain stamp tool. You have the option here to actually stamp in a precise terrain element here, and I absolutely love that. You can raise the surface up, you can sink it down a little bit, and it just adds a beautiful aesthetic here where you're going to be able to shape that perfectly, and you're not going to have to worry about trying to edge it out later. And speaking of that terrain stamp tool, you can use this now in so many different ways and add water to it, which, as you'll see here in this video, you can click on the water now and it pulls up an entire menu. You can flexi color this thing to any color you want to. You can give your crocodile exhibit that nice green color, give it that kind of atmosphere and vibe, or you can let your otters swim around in some super blue water. It's going to look absolutely awesome, the things you can do with this, and I'm so excited to be able to do this. You can delete the water straight out of wherever you put it. You can add bubbles, you can add mist to it. I think that this, above all, was probably one of the absolute things that I was jaw dropped at. I didn't know that this existed in Planet Zoo on PC. I hadn't watched enough of it to even be aware of it. So when it actually popped up and I saw that you could do that, I was instantly in love with it. Moving right on down the line, we have our heat maps here where you can check on your animals, your staff, your water. You can check on so many different things that will be highlighted in various colors. Planet Coaster did have a little bit of this, even though I wouldn't say that it was called heat mapping or anything like that. When you clicked on certain coasters or when you were doing trigger work or things like that, there was a bit of it, but this is the next level of that. This is an entirely new iteration of what you're able to do with that, and it's so unique. And for the last thing on today's list, everybody, we have the new modes here for your Explorer mode, as well as your Scenic mode here. Your Explorer mode is a bit like the Plip Cam, which was utilized by renaming a guest on Planet Coaster, so you go into that first-person kind of perspective. Here, they've just moved that same system over, and it's become a feature now that you can click on. In the Scenic mode, you can actually select where you want to look, and it'll drop the HUD for you. Alright, y'all, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think of this one down in the comments below. If you'd like to see more content done in this style here, we'll get those rolling out for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you that has supported this channel. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.